Hello and welcome to Jill Cameron Creations. Today we're going to be taking a look at how to create a really simple and pretty background using a border die. I don't use all the products in the picture. I'm just going to tell you that up front. I thought that I was going to do something else entirely, and that's not how the evolution of the card came about. So you'll see me cut some pink cardstock, and I'm going to set that aside and use it for another card at a later time. And I'm also going to cut the white cardstock out of the frame. And this is the Lawn Fawn Fancy rectangle frames. And I just decided I didn't like, because I was going to do pink on white, do the pink border. I was going to do one of the two, pink border or the white border, and swap the insert in it. But I didn't like it. I liked the white better, so I just went with plain old white. So we've got that, and I ended up not using the dark pink either. And you'll see that has a little brown strip on it, and it was a piece of cardstock that I had already put some double-sided adhesive on, like stick-it adhesive, and I was going to try to use it, and I just decided not to. So this is a teeny tiny one of those itty bitty little Lawn Fawn sets that says "You're stinking cute," and I thought it would be adorable for a Valentine's Day card. Now, the other thing that I'm doing with this card, not only am I showing you how to do a quick border background with your dies, I'm also doing the Freshly Made Sketch Challenge for this week. So that will be over on the Freshly Made Sketch Challenge blog. That is a mouthful, man. So I will have that over there, and every once in a while I get in the mood and do a whole bunch of challenges, and I have a couple more that I've made cards for, so I'm going to be putting those up in the next week or so. And I'm going to color in some hearts here as well as our little skunk. I didn't end up using all of the hearts. I thought I was going to sprinkle them on the background. I was going to do something else different, and I just really liked the card pretty plain, as you saw in the opening. I just really liked it really plain. So I just kept it as simple as possible. The red that I'm using there is an R29, and then that's an R39 that I'm just making a little dark spot on. I do use one of these hearts to put in his little hands because he's stinking cute. And I don't zoom in on this because it's really quick basic coloring. For his tummy, I used W1 and W0, and I think I went back in with a W3 and darkened it up because I didn't think it was going to be dark enough. And then I didn't do the cool blacks, the cool grays for the black part of him. I stuck with the warm grays, and I really, really liked it. It was super, super cute when he was done. So a lot of people will use their cool Copics for, quote, dead things like rocks and dirt and whatever else, and then they'll use their warm grays for live things. I swap them in and out. It doesn't matter to me. It's just whatever I'm in the mood for that day and whatever I think is going to look cute. And because I'm using kind of this in-betweeny, the red that the Copic color is very, very cool, and the red cardstock itself is a little kind of in between a cool and a warm. So I just went with the warm grays for my skunk, and it's stinking cute. No pun. Okay, yes, it was a pun intended. When I color itty bitty teeny tiny little images like this, I put a little bit more dark in the teeny tiny areas, and I keep my dark really, really, really limited on these. If you have trouble coloring itty bitty images with your Copic markers because you think you get too much dark in them, start by mapping out where you're going to put your dark with your lightest color. And what I mean by that is where you think you're going to put your dark color, put your lightest. And then go back and start with your dark color, and it will keep you from overextending that dark, if that makes sense. And I usually start with my dark and work my way out to my lightest, and I don't color over it twice unless it needs to be for blending purposes, or it's still, yeah, it's like still a line or something in it that I don't like. Generally I just go over everything one time. I don't do the double coloring back and forth. For me, it's not a problem, but everybody colors differently when they're using Copics. Some people color like Kelly Latavola colors from lightest to darkest and darkest back to lightest. She colors it twice, and she has beautiful coloring. And some people are just different. So how someone does it, how I do it, and how you do it are going to be two totally different things. You need to do what works for you. You be you, and I'll be me, and everybody else will be everybody else. So just remember that when you're coloring. And also when you're coloring, don't compare where you are to where someone else is. Compare your coloring to your previous attempts. I've been coloring for a while. Other Copic colorists out there have been coloring longer than I have and have practiced more. So remember, it depends on your time that you've put in. It depends on how much time you've been coloring, how much you've practiced. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. Just don't do it. If you like somebody's coloring and you want to get to that point, drop them an email and ask them, hey, can you give me some tips on how you colored this particular thing? I guarantee you they will email you back, especially me. I know I will, and I will be more than happy to help in any way I can to make your coloring better if that's what you want to do. So just keep that in mind. And my email address is hello@JillCameronCreations.com. So for this, and y'all are going to see at the end of this video, because I didn't realize it until I got into bed last night what I did. So this particular border, it's from Lawn Fawn, and I think it's called the Be Mine border set maybe, and it's from Valentine's Day a couple years ago. And it cuts out these teeny tiny little hearts and still leaves the paper attached, so it doesn't detach. You can cut across it and it's all fine. And I cut this out, and I'm going to do 3 rows of them. And I'm not worried about the hearts lining up. That's not me. I don't care. It's all good if they're a little bit off. It's all good if they're perfectly straight. It makes no difference to me. It's the overall effect that you're looking for. And P.S. I did keep those hearts so I can put them in a shaker card. I lined this up, and I just literally eyeballed it. I made sure that my paper was straight on my grid mat, and then I'm just making sure that it's lined up with the previous row. I'm not worried about it being 100% perfectly straight on anything. I'm just eyeballing it. And if somebody comes to you and says this isn't straight, and you've given them a handmade card, you don't need that negativity in your life. I'm just saying. So I die cut this 3 times, 3 different rows, and then I'm going to trim off some of the top and the bottom so that I have a white border from my card base at the top and the bottom. Now you're going to see when I go to put some fun foam on this to pop this panel up, that I put the fun foam on the wrong side. I didn't even notice it or think about it till I went to bed last night, and I was like, oh, that's the wrong way. And it was too late. Everything's already glued down, so it's going to be what it is. I'm the only one that would probably ever notice it, unless you watch the video really close and you see that I do that. Oh, I make myself laugh sometimes. So, today's the first video that I have done a voiceover for this week, and as soon as I say this, that's going to change. That my cat is not sitting beside me, pawing at me and meowing at me. So, I'm kind of really thankful for that at the moment. The weather here has decided that it's just going to be kind of miserably cold, but not frigidly cold. It's in the 30s, so it's not bitterly cold outside here in central Virginia, but it is cold. For all of those, for everybody that's in those bitterly cold and in the negatives in the single digits, just stay warm, stay inside, and make a card. That's what we need to do. Stay inside and make a card. So, I decided I was going to trim off some of this, like I said, and I didn't measure anything. I think I just dropped 1/4 of an inch off of both ends. I wasn't worried about how big the panel was itself. I just wanted to have a little border at the top and the bottom, but not on the sides. So, I still need to take a picture of my drawers that are sitting in front of me, and I'll clean up my craft room soon and do another tour, because I change stuff so much it's not funny. So I'm gonna put some fun foam on here so this will stand up and on the front of my card, and then I'm gonna adhere the frame and the little skunk and a little heart. If you do not own a pair of Fiskars Teflon scissors, you are missing out. Fiskars has always made good products for cutting paper, and just like, it's a German company that makes scissors for sewing, good for cloth, but I wouldn't use those for paper. They're just not good scissors for paper. So use the right tool for what the job is, and I've always loved Fiskars products. They've always been high quality. They make great blades for paper products, and I'm sure they do make good blades for other things too, for sewing and such, but every seamstress I've ever met in my entire life, which I have a family full of them, has always gone for the German brand of scissors. So anyway, there's my little rabbit trail for that. So I held this down until it dried a little bit. The one thing about Nuvo, the Tonic Deluxe adhesive, is that it dries pretty quickly, but it doesn't dry so fast that you're not going to be able to move stuff around. That's one thing that I really, really love about this liquid glue, and that bottle lasts forever. I bought, that's the second bottle I've bought in 2 years, so it lasts me about a year, literally. And I made tons of Christmas cards and all kinds of things. So it's a really good investment for the little bit of money that it is. See, I really liked the white on white, and I put the pink on. I didn't like that. I didn't like it. I don't know. I just didn't like it. So we went back to the white. So I have this giant acrylic block that is way too big for me to even do anything with. I can't hold it in my hand. My hand's too small. So I use it to weigh down stuff a whole lot. And now I'm doing my little layout here of what I want to do, and I'm also figuring out where I'm going to put my sentiment. And I'm going to put it above his head. And it is adorbs. This thing is so stinking cute. I know. I should be sent to pun jail for this. Alright, so any border dies that you have, it doesn't have to be just used for a border on the edge of a card. You can use it multiple times across a card. If it cuts it apart when you do it, then you can just put the adhesive behind it and stick them back together on your panel. Nothing stopping you from doing that. I wanted to make sure that my sentiment stamped really well in one stamp, so I'm just conditioning it a little bit, and it wasn't perfect, so I'm going to pull out some Versamark ink here real quick, and I'm going to stamp it in that and then rub it off with my hand. And that makes your stamps, especially your word stamps, stamp a whole lot better. And sorry about my big old head. if I haven't used a stamp in a long time, I'll also recondition it just to make sure that it'll stamp well. And that it's nothing against the stamp. It's just something I like to do to make sure that it works. So, put some adhesive down on this, and then I'm going to adhere everything together. Thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget to head over to my blog and subscribe to my newsletter at JillCameronCreations.com and see more of my really cute little Valentines that I've done over there. I have a masculine Valentine's Day card, as well as I have another Valentine's Day card over there, and for the life of me I can't remember what it is right now, but you'll see it. It's over there. And I also have some freebies over in my resource library that you can sign up and get. And subscribe to my YouTube channel right here. Click the little bell. Thank you so much for joining me and leaving me comments. And y'all have a wonderful day, because our card's all finished. Oh, no, it's not. I'm sorry. I told a big fat lie. I'm going to put some, it won't come to me. Glossy accents. There we go. I'm going to put some Aqua Shimmer pen and glossy accents on the heart that he's holding, and then we'll be done. And again, I'm still using that teeny tiny little bottle of glossy accents that I got 100 years ago that I'm still trying to use up. That stuff lasts forever. So I put multiple layers of glitter on that heart so it would show up, and it did. So again, thank you for joining me today, and I hope y'all have a magical day. Stay warm, set inside and make a card this weekend, and I will see y'all next week. Bye.